Morning, everyone. Welcome to my backyard. I know some of you are disappointed. Rob's got his Speedos on under there. He's expecting a pool party, but that is not going to be the case. So I'm sure you're all wondering why this announcement is taking place in my backyard. I'm going to start by saying that in this campaign, it's important for me to incorporate events that showcase our platform in ways that resonate with people. To do that, much of what we have planned for the summer will highlight places and experiences that make Windsor and its residents unique. As today's announcement is about strategic investment, our team wants to make this relatable to all, and we needed a location that could do the same. In the end, we realized that the answer was found in our own backyard, literally. So today, I'm going to share you a personal story about my own backyard deck. A story like this is a story of many of our residents who face challenging financial decisions on an ongoing basis. You see, I believe that every resident in the city has mayoral-like responsibilities of their own when dealing with their finances. Everyone has to manage limited incomes against competing priorities to meet their needs, goals, and dreams. Whether it's high priority infrastructure like replacing a broken furnace, or recreational spending like putting a swimming pool in your backyard. Our kitchen tables can look and feel a lot like the table of a municipal council, especially as family members deliberate together to make the best investment decisions for their homes. So it was around 7 years ago, I won the vote around that kitchen table to build this deck, the equivalent of replacing a piece of failing infrastructure. So Nancy, my wife, and I value the peace and quiet a bigger and better deck would give us in the backyard, and the quality of life we would enjoy out here. Lumber was expensive. I think it cost me around $3,000 at the time. And we were debating ways we could make it work, knowing an improved backyard would increase the value of our largest investment, our home. At the end of the day, we practiced responsible borrowing and financed the immediate lumber purchase, opting to continue to grow our investments while taking advantage of record low interest rates. And boy, am I glad we did. Lumber prices shot through the roof, increasing by 28% and dwarfing the 1.9% interest rate we borrowed at. We got the added benefit of enjoying the use of the deck immediately and freed up our savings that we ended up using for an emergency car repair we weren't expecting, all while leaving our investments to earn a higher rate of return. Over the last 8 years, our current mayor has been tasked to champion the same kind of wise decisions with our collective money, as you and I make every day for ourselves. However, under his leadership, the City of Windsor is losing out on millions of dollars due to poor investment decisions, dollars that could go directly to fund amenities for residents across the city. Here's why. The City of Windsor currently has $333 million in bank accounts that earn less than 1% per year. If the city, under this mayor's watch, had invested prudently, the city would have earned an additional $5 to $9 million each and every year. We need to do better. We can ensure that your money is being invested in ways that maximize returns and doesn't leave us behind when inflation creeps up. This is not a time to be adequate. How can a mayor that flaunts his fiscal record consistently settle for adequate? As your mayor, I would lead City Council to invest the city's reserves in one investment, and that's a nonprofit corporation founded by LAS, which is a corporation of the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, and CHUMS, a subsidiary of the Municipal Finance Officers Association. This is what cities like Markham and Whitby have done to earn millions on the interest of their taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. Communities comparable in size and scope have shown this to be prudent, safe, and low risk. This is not some risky portfolio or new scheme. This is a sound investment policy created and endorsed by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, which we are members of. We currently have our own arts endowment in these funds. Many communities across Ontario now participate in this investment structure. When we run the numbers and compare them to other cities utilizing this policy option, it is obvious that our city is leaving millions of dollars on the table that should be benefiting our community instead. Even using conservative estimates, that would translate to about $6 million per year. What could our city do with an additional $6 million each and every year? Here's a few options. we would be able to increase our total operating budget by 1.4% without the need to increase municipal taxes by the same amount. Or we could build 34 splash pads across the city. Or we could have conducted maintenance on an additional 485 kilometers of city roads. Or we could make 3 times as many bikeway improvements. Or we could absorb anticipated user fee increases that would help keep expenses down for our residents to help with the impact of inflation that they are feeling. Or we could do any combination of the long list of viable options that increase the quality of life for all of us. That is sound fiscal leadership, and that is what we all deserve. This is a clear example of what I mean when I say that we leave so much on the table and that delivering results that matters more. Okay, so in your media packages, you'll find a report by the municipality of Muskoka clearly explaining the new One investment policy, as well as a performance review of City of Windsor's investment policy done by Mr. Bradley Ouellette. So I'm available for questions, and so is Bradley, and we've commissioned Bradley to actually do the analysis of our investment policy, and he's also available for questions as well.
Why are you choosing this as your first issue to bring up?
Everything we hear around the council table is that would be nice, but we need the money. Every single councillor that comes up and asks for things, whether it's a splash pad, whether it's to fix Lansbury Pool, whether it's to add bike lanes on a particular street, we hear the mayor saying, that would be nice, move it to budget, don't get your hopes up, competing priorities, that type of thing. So what we hear now is that this mayor, through a conscious decision, has kept $6 to $9 million out of our city budget that could have been yeses to a lot of those councillors asking for amenities around the table. So that being said, over the course of the next 15 weeks, you're going to hear us rolling out our policies and our planks. And surprisingly so, they cost money. So this is something we can point back to and saying, yes, we can do this, and we don't have to, and we can still be fiscally responsible while increasing your quality of life. So this is a foundational piece of our platform.
How would you describe the first week since you announced you were running for mayor?
Crazy. It's obvious that people in this city are just very hungry for change. The amount of support that has come my way, whether it's financial, whether it's volunteers, what have you, it's frankly overwhelming. And I thought it was busy. We're running in one ward, 10 wards. I'm running in 10 wards, so need 10 times the resources, 10 times the human resources, financial resources, and it's frankly heartwarming to hear the word hope attributed to your campaign, and I'm hearing that over and over again.
For how long has the city's investment strategy been a point of contention for you?
Well, the rules have just recently changed. So actually, the previous or the former CEO, Jason Raynar, and I, we were talking about exactly bringing a report like this forward at the current budget meetings, and because I was talking with him, how can we increase the revenue instead of always looking at zero tax increases, always looking at holding the line on taxes? Is there any opportunities or avenues where we can actually increase revenue? And he brought up the Association of Municipalities of Ontario and how the rules have recently changed that allow us to be a little bit more, earn a little bit more money, have a better, higher, safe return on our investment. And unfortunately, Mr. Raynar is no longer with the corporation. That report didn't come through. So the rest is history.
What do we make on city council violating a bylaw according to CBC on his dismissal?
Well, obviously you all know that it's a rather contentious thing. I can't speak to a lot of it because it all happened in camera. So it's a personnel issue, that type of thing. However, it was published the CBC published the voting record. You can all see that I opposed it. I had a great working relationship with Mr. Raynar. I really appreciated a lot of the progressive ideas he brought forward, and so that is why I opposed his firing. So have to leave it at that, unfortunately.
Do you think the city acted in bad faith here?
I can't say one way or the other. Everything happened in camera, and there's I forget that it's not a non-disclosure agreement that we have, a non-disparagement agreement, a mutual non-disparagement agreement, and I really have to walk a fine line on that.
What would you hope your relationship be with CAO should you be elected mayor?
Well, so we've brought back Honorio Colucci on a temporary basis. That was a decision of council, and for a very temporary basis. So one of the first things that the city council will do is choose a new CAO. So whether or not we go back out and look outwards, or we look inwards for it, that's up to the new council. So I really hope they make a wise decision, because a good working relationship with the CAO is important. So that's that separation of church and state, right? The political from the bureaucratic. So it's a very important move, and I wish the new city council well in making that decision.
For this one, Chris, isn't it a no-brainer? Everyone wants to make more money, so you would think that the city would want to make some money on their funding, their investments?
You would think so, wouldn't you? This is low-hanging fruit here. This is something that it didn't take a lot of investigation on my part. We questioned every year the investment policy comes before council. We've questioned it in the past. There's been numerous councillors around. I think Councillor Morrison was asking, why are we investing so much in credit unions? Councillor McKenzie asked about green investment strategies, that type of thing. So we've always been looking at doing better, because $333 million, that's a lot of money. But why at the end of the day we've been so conservative and so afraid of actually earning more money in the city coffers, I couldn't tell you why the administration made these recommendations.
Does this date back to previous number of previous councils around the table? Like how long is this policy? Do you know how long this policy? The city really hasn't changed their tune all that much.
So I'm gonna look over to Bradley on this one, because he's got a historical record about